Alright, hey guys, it's Raphael here from xxRafael Productions, and I'm going to show you how to install Windows applications on Linux, and I'll be showing you two methods as well. I'm going to be using PlayOnLinux and also Mono, okay? But let's go ahead and get first to my example, which I'll be using a game called Slender the 8 Pages. Let's go ahead and go up and open our browser, and let's look for what we need before we start. Up here in the search bar, I'm gonna search up WineHQ. Let me get rid of the URL first. So WineHQ, and I should get to the first link. Run Windows applications on Linux, BSD, Solaris. All right, let's go and scroll down. Look for download. So click on it. And depending on your distribution, like Ubuntu, for example, that's what most people will be using. I'm using Mint, which is based on Ubuntu, so I should get the same result if I follow the instructions. Okay, so gonna add in my 32-bit architecture, all these commands here, copy and paste these onto your terminal. I already have mine copy and pasted. I've done all this already, so let's go ahead and now look at the version. Now, if you're using the latest version, highlight that, but I'm using Linux Mint version 20, so the command I will be using is this one right here. See what I highlighted? And then after I've got that repository added, I'm going to update my packages first, and then I would recommend doing the stable branch because the development branch could be quite unstable. So once you've got that down, open up a terminal and you're going to install PlayOnLinux as well. Enter in your password because you need root permissions. Now I've already got mine installed. It will say the newest version, but if you don't have it downloaded yet, it will ask you to download. But once you've got it downloaded, open up the application, PlayOnLinux, okay? So click on it. It can take a bit for it to open. Oh, okay, there it is. Let's go and look at what I've got. So I've already got two games installed. Those are for Windows. Let's click install and click install a non-listed program. Alright, and then we're gonna look at what we've got. Just click next on all these. You don't really have to read all that. It's not really important. Just warnings. And here we go. Okay, so it will ask you for the manual installation. Install a program in a new virtual drive. Name it whatever you want to. I'm calling mine simply test for the video, just to show you that this all works perfectly, okay? So then leave all those boxes unticked. Next again. I'll use 64-bit because that's my computer, 64-bit. And it should then generate your very own virtual drive. So wait for it to finish. I will not skip through the process because I want you all to see it. I'm not going to like edit the video or anything, okay? So I'm going to configure Wine, and it will give you a few pop-ups, alright, like this. Simply click cancel. It won't affect anything. Just anytime a pop-up appears, click cancel. This really depends on what application you are trying to install. In this one, it's not really important, so I will click cancel on each one. There should be one more that pops up, but that can take a while, so just gonna wait for it. It won't take too long, but it's a little longer than the others earlier. Alright, it should get that box and it should cancel. And once that's all done, it should show you this. Just wait for it. Here we go. Please select the install file to run. Now I'm gonna click browse in the middle right here. Then this is where it gets important, okay? So you see the PlayOnLinux's virtual drives. I'm gonna grab my file where I installed Slender the 8 Pages. I'm gonna go to my home folder. So I'm gonna also go to the shortcut PlayOnLinux virtual drives. Go to your virtual drive which has been created, whatever you named it earlier. Go to drive C, program files, and I'm gonna go and create a new folder for my application. Just like how it would be on Windows when you install it. So this is very important. You have to drag it in the virtual drive because if you want to make a shortcut later, it will give you an error if you try to make a shortcut while it's not in the virtual drive. So I'm going to add my exe file plus my other two because the game might rely on those just to be safe. And then I'm going to go ahead and make the file. I'm going to go to my virtual drive where I saved it. Slender D8, and then select an exe file, and then click next. it should load up the application, so give it a few seconds. There we go, okay? I'm gonna select Windows so it doesn't glitch, lessens the potential of it glitching, because remember that it's on Linux, not Windows. That's what it's meant for, originally anyway. Okay, so here we are. I'm gonna go ahead and show you for a bit. Okay, I'm gonna show you a bit of how the game will go. It will be like Windows, really. Because this is an exe file, so it will only run on Windows natively, but you can use this application, PlayOnLinux, to run this game. So it should work like as if you were on Windows, really. Here we go, it's 198 pages. And this also works for Five Nights at Freddy's, as you can see earlier when I first played it. Alright, look at it. Collect all 8 pages. Well, obviously that's a whole other game, so I'm gonna escape now. I'm gonna quit the game. But at least it is working. I've shown you how it works. So now let's go ahead and I'm going to show you how to make the shortcut. So select the exe file. This is why it's important, because it has to be in that directory for it to pop up. So click next. Now I'm going to show you what will happen. So name the shortcut whatever you want to. It doesn't really matter. So I'll just do like shortcut, like, let's see, shortcut example. And I'm going to look at the desktop. Click next. And now you should see it popped up on the desktop. Alright, now I can cancel out of there. And there you have it. That's how you use PlayOnLinux to install applications. Now I'm going to get right into my next method, which is using mono complete. And that will be on screen right now. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. If this one helped you out, well, you don't have to watch the rest of the video, but I'll see you in my next method. Alright, and here we go. This is method number 2. I'm going to be using mono complete. It's going to be a much shorter process, but should still be able to run Windows applications. Okay, so let me go ahead and I'm going to also show you. This will not be as effective as the first method, which is why I put the other method first, but let's go ahead and open a terminal. And I'm going to go ahead and actually run a command, sudo apt. Well, I'm going to sudo su first because I want to go to make sure I'm root before I install a package. So I'm going to apt install mono-complete. And as you can see, I already have it installed, but if it's your first time installing it, it should ask you yes or no. So make sure that's installed first. That's after you go root, alright? So after that, I'm going to exit out of my root account. So I'm going to go ahead and type exit. And then I'm going to go and change directory to my desktop, because that's where I've saved what I'm trying to experiment. I'm going to use loic.exe or low orbit ion cannon. So I'm going to run mono and the file name, alright? Now keep in mind, this does not always work, but for this particular app, it did work. So that's how you do it. That's using mono. It's much faster, but less efficient. So I suggest you stick with the first method. And, yeah, that's how you get it running from mono. Now, I will tell you that when it comes to running applications, I'm gonna first talk about the first method because that one is probably the one that will work for most people. The only reason why I showed the second method is that there are also some applications that PlayOnLinux cannot run. So there are times like that mono can help, but in most cases, I think you would want to stick with PlayOnLinux mostly, because that is the most stable one. It's not really a flawless method, but it was able to work on plenty games. Like Five Nights at Freddy's works, Age of Empires, Slender 8 Pages, I said I just showed you in the video earlier, and a bunch of other applications. I'm sure it has a good reputation, so it should be able to work for plenty other stuff as well. Okay, but hopefully this video helped you out, and I did make a comparison for both methods just so that you know which one is more effective, which one isn't more effective. So hopefully you're able to run Windows applications, at least most of what you need, onto your Linux, so you don't have to dual boot or anything like that, in case you want to run it as your main operating system for the majority of the time. And you can also download a piece of software called Crossover. But if you don't really care about super high quality features and just want to get stuff done, this application should be fine to use, okay? For the majority of what your tasks are. So thank you very much for watching. This is Raphael out, and I will see you in my next tutorial.